don't matter who you with, I wanna see you happy. Yeah, it didn't work out, but that don't mean you should attack me. We enjoy the 5-star meals, but you was with me for the Zaxby. Holding me down from the start. I used to be broke, I was ashy. I hate we didn't tie the knot, but that's how life go. You always would say that I might blow. Got rich and I pay for your lipo. I know the person you is, that's why I still wanna be friends. If you wanna open up a new salon, I still help pay for the wigs. And I help with the lease. You know I ain't never been cheap. Relationships don't always last, but let's not turn it to beef. I'll come through from time to time.
Oh yeah, what's good, YouTubers and YouTubettes? This is JB Sports, back again with another one. There's an old saying in boxing, as goes the heavyweight division, as goes the sport of boxing. A lot of twists and turns in the glamour division of the sport. As the IBF heavyweight champion, Daniel Dubois, who was supposed to be defending his belt for the very first time against top 5 heavyweight Joseph Parker, who I affectionately call the nicest guy in boxing. But he's a very tricky and dangerous fighter with a lot of experience, former world heavyweight champion. And it's a fight that I ain't never understand why Daniel Dubois was going to fight him in the first place. You had just got through beating the biggest name in the heavyweight division, Anthony Joshua. You got the undisputed heavyweight champion out there, Alexander Usyk, that you could fight for undisputed. The first fight was very, very controversial. You hit him with a body shot that you thought was legal, that would have secured you the victory. The referee ruled the punch an illegal blow. It was below the belt, so he was able to give Usyk enough time to recuperate. He got back up and he watched you after that, and you basically waved the white flag and quit. But you always point to the fact that that body shot should have counted. You should have been the world champion. So you had that fight out there. They could have named that fight unfinished business. And you also had a fight with AJ, a rematch with him. That was a big money fight. And you had another opportunity that just arose here recently when one of UK's favorite fighters of all time, past and present, Derek Chisora, upset the apple cart and beat Otto Wallin. And his promoter, Frank Warren, after that fight, promised, all but promised, Derek Chisora a title shot. And guess what? Frank Warren also promotes Daniel Dubois. That fight took place, 2 or 3 weeks ago? So ever since then, Queensberry Promotion, which the lead promoter is Frank Warren, who runs that organization, that's a family business, he's been looking for a way out of that fight because Joseph Parker is a very tricky and dangerous opponent, and they have a big money fight that they can have with a Derek Chisora, who's a less dangerous opponent, a guy that's 41 years old, a guy that's a very fan-friendly fighter, has a huge following in the UK, and that fight could do big numbers over there in Wembley Stadium, where you could pack that stadium with 60,000 fans or more. So why would you take on a tricky opponent like a Joseph Parker and possibly lose that fight in a 50-50 fight? Because that guy is very, very dangerous. He has one of the best trainers in boxing, Andy Lee, who would have came up with I'm sure I already came up with a master game plan to expose Daniel Dubois' weaknesses. So this was a fight all along that Frank Warren, Daniel Dubois' promoter, did not want, but Turki Ali Sheikh, the head nigga in charge, basically in Saudi Arabia, HNIC, the emperor, whatever name you want to give it, the man got deep money. People call him Turkey Bag, because he got the bag, he got all money. He wanted, he wanted Parker to take on Dubois. He wanted Dubois to take on Parker in his first title defense of the IBF title. And what Turkey wants, 9 times out of 10, Turkey gets. So the fight was finalized. But again, once Chisora upset the apple cart, wasn't nobody expecting Derek Chisora to beat Otto Wallin. Everybody thought Chisora was gonna lose that fight and ride off into the sunset and enjoy his retirement. But he upset the apple cart. He said he want one more fight. He wanted it to be a big fight. He was supposed to fight the winner of Bakole and Ajagba. So that fight was supposed to take place, I believe, in mid part of May. And the winner of that fight was supposed to take on Derek Chisora, because when he beat Wallin, that was an IBF eliminator. So basically the winner was going to meet. to determine the mandatory for Daniel Dubois. But right after that fight, his promoter, Frank Warren, basically said, I'm going to try to get a Chisora a title shot. I think he deserves this. You know, he says he wants to do one more fight number 50, and we're going to try to make it the biggest fight possible. And the biggest fight possible, which would be an in-house fight for Queensberry Promotion, is Daniel Dubois versus Derek Chisora. Again, at Wembley Stadium, it could do big numbers. That's why Daniel Dubois came up with this convenient, sick excuse. This convenient, oh, I'm ill, I need to go to the doctor. See, once you go to the doctor, the boxing commission gonna pull you from the fight. There ain't no way in hell you're gonna go to the doctor on, what's his day, Thursday, and then fight Saturday. It's never gonna happen like that. If you go to the doctor any day during fight week, any day after Tuesday, you go to the doctor, they gonna pull you from the fight. Not gonna happen. The fight not gonna happen. And it just was a convenient excuse because yesterday, another fight fell through. Well, a fight that everybody was excited about, especially here in the United States, was Shakur Stevenson, top 10 pound-for-pound fighter and WBC lightweight champion, was supposed to take on Floyd Schofield, one of the most exciting fighters in boxing. That fight was supposed to take place, and there was a lot of bad blood in the lead up to that fight, and that was one of the fights I was much looking forward to on this loaded February 22nd Rehab card. But Schofield got sick, went to the doctor. You know, the British Boxing Board of Controls, the BBOC, the Triple BOC, pulled Schofield from the fight. And that's the same blueprint that Daniel Dubois used. Went to the doctor, said, oh, I'm sick, I don't feel well, I'm sick. Doctor check you out, give you put some IVs in you, give you some fluids, and you're looking bad. And maybe he was sick. I'm not saying the man wasn't sick, but what I'm saying is, you take you some goddamn Tylenol flu if you got the flu medicine. I heard it's kind of cold out there, unnaturally cold out there. This time of the year, it's usually a little warmer out there in Saudi Arabia. And Saudi Arabia ain't known to be a place where it gets cold anyway. That's a desert. So it's hot more than it's cold down there. They probably have a few times where it's cold down there, but it just seems to be one of those times where it's been cold down there. And a lot of those people that was flying in from other countries, your body got to make that a natural adjustment. And maybe Schofield body didn't make the adjustment, and he got sick, and maybe Dubois didn't make the adjustment. And he got sick. But a lot of fighters go into these fights not 100% dealing with different injuries and different elements, but they still push through and make the fight happen. But Dubois didn't want to take that chance, especially when you're fighting a tricky and dangerous opponent in Joseph Parker. His team, they huddled up, and they came up, in my opinion, with the I'm too sick to fight excuse. So we will see what happens, and we will see what transpires, but we got a hell of a save for this fight because Martin Bakole, the boogeyman of the heavyweight division, George Foreman 2.0, has answered the call, and he will replace Daniel Dubois against Joseph Parker. And I'm very, very excited about this matchup. Probably a little bit more excited for this fight than I was for the Parker Dubois fight. But the only thing about the Parker Dubois fight was it was for a world title. This fight is going to be for a non-world title. It'll basically be another IBF eliminator. The winner of this fight, in my opinion, will get a shot at Usyk next, who's the undisputed heavyweight division. I think Daniel Dubois will take on Derek Chisora in the UK at Wembley Stadium or one of those other big soccer stadiums over there in the UK. That fight will take place probably sometime in the spring. And I think eventually the winner of Dubois and Chisora, which should be Dubois, that's going to be a good fight. That's going to be a very exciting, fan-friendly fight. But I just think you got a younger guy, fresher guy beating the old lion in Derek Chisora. But it should be an exciting fight because both guys come forward. Both guys are looking to land bombs. So it's a very, very TV fan-friendly fight. Make no mistake about it. But it's a fight that never should have went down because Daniel Dubois should be fighting Joseph Parker. And the winner of that should be fighting the #1 guy in the heavyweight division, undisputed heavyweight champion, Alexander Usyk. But it's not going down that way. And I think this way that it's going now is probably going to put more money in these promoters' pockets and these fighters' pockets. And the thing about boxing is called prize fighting. And the thing about life is if it ain't making dollars, it ain't making sense. So now we have Bakole, Martin Bakole from the motherland, Africa. This year, the 2025 version of George Foreman. You remember George Foreman? George Foreman was a guy that I'm talking about the old George Foreman. George Foreman that was knocking out Joe Frazier. The George Foreman that was knocking out Ken Norton. The Joe Frazier that made Muhammad Ali do the rope-a-dope. Muhammad Ali didn't go in that fight talking about, I'm gonna lay on the ropes and let you pound on me. He got in the first round with him and he saw that he wasn't gonna be able to hold up for no 12 rounds with the onslaught that George Foreman was gonna bring to him. He wasn't gonna hold up for 4 or 5 rounds where he was getting hit in that first round. So he decided to use the old rope-a-dope tactic and whisper in George Foreman's ear every time they got tied up, use the psychological warfare to mentally and physically break down George Foreman and stop him in what was the 7th or 8th round of that fight that took place in Africa. That was known as the Rumble in the Jungle. We'll be able to see if Bakole will be able to not do that, not gas out, because he's taking this fight on 2 days' notice. Joseph Parker basically said, I'd rather fight him on 2 days' notice than a 12-week camp or a 10-week camp or 8-week camp. So Bakole has been in the gym because he had a fight lined up with Effie or Dubois. That fight was going to be another big-time Rehab season card that was put on by Turki Al-Shiki. I think that fight was supposed to go down in the spring of 2025, but this is a much bigger fight on a much bigger stage. So Bakole stiffed arm Dubois and said he was ready, willing, and able to take on Joseph Parker on 2-day notice, because he knows if he's get a victory over Joseph Parker, in all likelihood he'll get a title opportunity in this next fight. So we will see what happens and we will see what transpires. I'm gonna break down this fight. I just wanted to give you the news that this is gonna be the next fight, as Daniel Dubois versus Joseph Parker has fell through. Now we got Martin Bakole versus Joseph Parker, and this is gonna be a big time matchup in the heavyweight division, and I'll be coming up with a breakdown video of this fight and the Better Be Bivol Undisputed Light Heavyweight title, which is the main event for this card going down Saturday. So we will see what happens and we will see what transpires. Follow me on Facebook, Gerard Briscoe. Follow me on Instagram at JB Sports 3303. Follow me on TikTok at JB Sports New Media. Follow me on Twitch at Briscoe Jai 77071. Follow me on my YouTube channels at JB Sports, the man, the myth, the legend, 9656, and at JB Sports, the man, the myth, the legend, 8000. Like, share, and subscribe to JB Sports, the man, the myth, the legend, and I holla.